Page 167, 12-bar blues improvisation. Blues, getting into blues music. The blues scale is different from the regular major and minor scales. Because remember, when it comes to scales, there's 1,500 or more different scales available, and we only use a few of them. Well, blues scale is one. I don't teach blues. I'm not very knowledgeable on blues and jazz, but I have a friend here, a professional trumpet player who is, and I've learned some things from him that helps. But I'm going to stick with what the book is saying because I'm getting out of my element. I was a classically trained pianist, but here we'll get into blues. I like blues music. I just don't know it very well. And a 12-bar blues, well, remember that a bar and a measure can be the same thing. You can call it either one. I can say a measure or a bar. It's like in page 166 at the bottom, the Silent Night, I could say the first measure or the first bar. It's whichever. Well, in 12-bar blues, it's 12 measures. Okay, and it's a set chord progression. So if you want to write blues, you can just follow that chord progression in whatever key you're in. That's good enough. If your piece is longer than 12 bars, and probably is, you just keep repeating it, the progression, for the most part. And they show it at the top. We're in the key of C major now. So they're saying you get 4 measures or 4 bars of one chord. And then 2 bars or 2 measures of 4 chord, 2 measures of 1, and then a 5. Not a 5/7, but a 5. A lot of people would do a 5/7 here, but we'll just do the 5. That's fine. We just leave out the F. 4, 1. 2 bars of 1 to make 4. Now, actually, if you're going to repeat it and do it over, that last bar, rather than a 1, could be a 5 or 5/7 because that leads into the 1, and that would be so. You'd go it again. And I might mention with blues music, most blues music uses 7th chords throughout. So it would be like a C7 chord or an F7 chord, or they're almost 7th chords throughout. Well, they can use other things too. But for this lesson, we're going to stick with this right now. Just 4 measures of 1, 2/4, 2/1, and then a 5/4 and 2/1. So we got our 12. We transpose it to other F major. You're just playing the primary chord. So 4 measures of 1, 2 of 4, 2 of 1, then a 5. Just leave out the 7th chord, and then 4, 1. This is the first book I've seen where they don't give you a 5/7. I've always used 5/7 before, but they don't. They use a 5. I use 5/7. Whichever. Okay. And then G major, same thing. 1, 4, the 5 chord, 1. You follow that progression. You got it. Okay. The bottom of the page, they're showing you or in the middle of the page, I say, they're showing you the pentascale for blues scale. And what you're doing, you're taking a regular scale and we're altering it. We're using some lowered notes. We're lowering some notes. So instead of an E, we're going to use an E flat. And the G is G. Those are the notes. So I use this pattern in any one here. Or here, in any key, whatever it is, that's the pattern. So you're going up a minor third, major second, and then minor seconds after it. These are together. So those are the patterns. So we do the 12-bar blues, which this is. You get 4 measures of this 1. Notice I left out the middle note because I'm not playing an E, I'm playing an E flat, so I just leave it out. And then you got 2 more measures of that, more or less. Then we do the 4 chord here. That's 4 chord in C major. That's the 4 chord. They went down. Back to the 1 chord. Then a 5 chord. 4 chord. 1 chord. it's a 12-bar blues pattern. You can improvise other things. You don't have to do this. Just use these notes. And I also want to mention, because this trumpet player, a friend of mine, insists on it, and there's a book out, a trombonist wrote a book on interpreting blues, and I have it here somewhere. But the idea is it's in the style of the music. For blues, swing, and jazz, it's just part of the style of the music, of those types of music, that when you encounter eighth notes, you swing them. If they want straight eighth notes, they put in a note, even, right? So here, and you feel it. There's no notation for this. You just, the counting isn't 1 and 2 and it's 1 and 2 and 3. You feel this because your short notes are not always going to be the same length because you just feel it. Rest. Rest. Feel it. So you want to make up a melody, fine, but I encourage you to swing the eighth notes. I changed the rhythm around because I'm just playing around. I'm just playing these notes in some pattern and some rhythm, and you just have fun with it. Transpose it to other keys. You're just doing this. You're doing the primary chords here: the 1, the 4, and the 5, 7. Yeah, you'd be surprised that blues and jazz and or blues and rock music. A lot of them they use pretty much these primary chords. I mean, some of them will get into the 2 chords and the 6 chords, and the others a little bit, but for the most part, it's the primary chords.